And now it is my honor to introduce our esteemed leader, President Stephen Jordan. Dr. Jordan has articulated a vision of preeminence for the university and has led us in making tremendous progress toward achieving that vision. Under Dr. Jordan's leadership, MSU Denver has become a recognized name throughout the state of Colorado and the nation, United States of America. His passion, determination, and incredible energy for this campus embody the true Roadrunner spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, President Stephen Jordan.
Benjamin Franklin is credited with the adage, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes." Well, I would add change to Franklin's certainties. Change is inevitable. For example, the change of the seasons. We are moving from summer to autumn. You can sense it with the subtle change in the light that heralds the oncoming of fall and the few trees that are already beginning to sport some yellow leaves. And of course, we know we're moving into the autumn season because we're here to celebrate the beginning of a new semester at Metropolitan State University of Denver. I want to welcome you and enlist some of your best thinking to help us to address the many changes and challenges our beloved institution faces this academic year. I always love the energy and the enthusiasm I see at this time of year, and while this is a year-round institution, the fall semester is still the traditional time for welcoming both our first-year and our returning students. For our first-year students especially, this is a time of getting acquainted with faculty and staff and getting acclimated to a new chapter in life. It's a big transition. Change of season and the resulting change in weather are a constant preoccupation of humans. And it's of particular interest here in Colorado, where weather can change within minutes, and extreme weather, heat, cold, hail, wind, seems to be the rule rather than the exception. The weather forecast is probably the most avidly watched part of every television newscast, perhaps surpassing even sports, which in Denver is saying a lot, although the Broncos and the weather together may have something, right? Weather and climate affect nearly all we do in some way, and whether it is the time we get up in the morning, the clothes we wear, the types of transportation that we choose. The rise in atmospheric temperatures since the 19th century has greatly elevated the specter of cataclysmic change, with the shadow of its impact varying from region to region across the globe. It may be a slight exaggeration to say that higher education in Colorado compares to global warming, but there's definitely a more intense sense of urgency than I've seen since I came to MSU Denver as your president in 2005. Accountability, return on investment, cost of education, and retention and graduation rates are our own climate change paradigm. We all must embrace a certain nimbleness that will allow us to adapt to the changes and address these demands. To help us to establish the agile climate we want for our university, in 2012 we instituted a 5-year strategic plan, a time of transformation. And the 4th strategic pillars on which we are building the university's future are diversity, a democratic workplace, entrepreneurship, and telling the MSU Denver story. These 4 pillars embody our concept of an urban land-grant university. The terms of the original Land-Grant Act passed by Congress in 1862 were to educate students to provide practical solutions to the problems of society. As an urban land-grant university, we offer innovative programs in hospitality, entrepreneurship, science and technology, aviation, education, and the arts, in addition to a full range of traditional academic subjects, all delivered with passion and rigor. Our vision statement is that we will achieve recognition as the preeminent public urban baccalaureate university in America, and to accomplish that goal and to write the next chapters in our story, we must all be willing to change, to grow, and to innovate. We boast that we transform lives, and that is true. 20% of Colorado's resident baccalaureate students choose MSU Denver to earn their degree. 75% of our graduates stay in Colorado to build their lives. MSU Denver is also the most diverse four-year institution in Colorado. Of the undergraduate Coloradans who are students of color, 33% chose MSU Denver last year. We transform the lives of more Colorado students than any other four-year institution in the state. And according to preliminary figures, our undergraduate enrollment this semester is 22,357. Now that's slightly down from last year, but it mirrors state and nationwide trends. Seeking new methods to buck these trends, we created a strategic enrollment council to develop student recruitment and marketing strategy based on analysis of data and demographics relevant to the MSU Denver student population. Chaired by Associate Vice President of Enrollment Services, Judy Diezmo-Naquisti, it includes representation from the three vice presidential areas and the deans of the three schools. The council began its work by addressing short-term strategies, targeting efforts to keep summer and fall enrollments relatively flat. This fall, the council will focus on the longer term, creating a full strategic enrollment management plan that addresses Colorado's shifting demographics and higher education's competitive environment, and which adds a targeted modest increase in non-resident and international students, similar to our sister institutions. And while our enrollment has slightly declined, our students are taking more credit hours on average, which we believe will translate into earlier degree completion. We are also continuing to enroll more students of color. Our student body is comprised of 34% students of color, a gain of more than 1% over last year. Our Latino cohort expanded by more than 3%, taking us to 20.6% of our enrollment. This growth is a change we anticipate will continue, since Colorado has the 8th largest Latino population in America, and 28% of Colorado's K-12 population is Latino. Since 2007, we've actively sought to serve the state's Latino population through our Hispanic Serving Institution initiative. HSI is a federal designation that will allow us to qualify for additional federal grants, grants that would improve increased opportunity for all MSU Denver students, not just Latinos. To be eligible, at least 25% of our full-time student body must be of Latino origin, a goal we are committed to reach by 2018. Another trend we are seeing is an increase in our adult student market, something that actually surprised me. Between 2008 and 2012, we've had a 2% decrease in the number of students who are 24 and under, and a 17% increase in those students who are 25 and older. At a town hall meeting in Colorado last month, U.S. Education Secretary Arne Duncan called for a sea change with how we educate the adult market. Duncan indicated that America used to be #1 in the world for the percentage of adults with college degrees, but has recently slid to 16th. Both President Obama and Colorado's Department of Higher Education Master Plan have called for America and Colorado to increase the number of degree holders to 60% by the end of this decade. Some of the efforts we are pursuing to support adult learners include the creation of a veteran student task force to address the unique needs of our military veterans and their families. We are exploring how we can best offer university credit for the prior learning that adult students bring with them to our campus, as well as how we might develop appropriate competency-based learning opportunities well-suited to this hard-working population. A great example of one of our adult learners is aviation and aerospace science major Ziola Mix, age 42. Utilizing the Aerospace Department's Systems Toolkit software, Ziola is researching and creating a historical map of Amelia Earhart's 1937 attempt to circumnavigate the globe. The majority of research regarding Earhart has been focused on locating her aircraft, but there is little known about her flight up until the point she went missing. Ziola arranged for Wings Over the Rockies, where she's an intern, to obtain an STK software license and plans to release her research at the museum's Amelia Earhart exhibit this November. Non-traditional students such as Ziola have been an integral part of our institution since we first opened our doors in 1965. And I encourage all of you to think of creative ways to increase this market share and to open more doors to students like Ziola, students who will have a lasting impact on our transformative landscape. One courageous move that has contributed to MSU Denver's climate was last year's establishment of a special tuition rate for undocumented students, which provided these students a more affordable tuition while not costing taxpayers any additional money. Our Board of Trustees felt it was the right answer to a moral and philosophical dilemma: how to educate undocumented students, many of whom had been brought here through no fault of their own, so they could become educated, contributing members of our community. It was an innovative and bold and controversial proposal. MSU Denver led the way with our special tuition rate, and we believe it tipped the scales at the state legislature with the passing of Asset this spring. We begin this year with 368 Asset students, 20 of whom remain under our non-resident rate. This is more than 2/3 of the number projected for the entire state of Colorado, and it is a testament to our inclusive campus climate and the energy and spirit that permeates our university. As Colorado's urban land-grant university, we are an epicenter of urban impact, and this has led us to some exciting projects that are underway. Colorado has become a center of the U.S. aviation and aerospace industry, and capitalizing on that position, MSU Denver is creating a new model that will meet that economic cluster's workforce needs, along with other advanced manufacturing industries that will employ an estimated 200,000 new workers. We are calling this the Aerospace Engineering Sciences Initiative. And behind me are renderings for this new building. Again, MSU Denver has been ahead of the curve in our plans to construct a building in which we can bring together our aerospace program with the disciplines of industrial design, civil, mechanical, and electrical engineering technology, computing information systems, and the underpinning science of aerospace, physics. Currently, we have more than 2,000 students in these disciplines, a 30% increase since 2008. Led by the Letters, Arts, and Sciences Dean Joan Foster and School of Professional Studies Dean Sandra Haynes, we are seeking a truly dynamic, integrated, and interdisciplinary learning space. We've sought advice and help from industry leaders as we move forward with our plans. Our efforts to initiate this, our efforts on this initiative are paying off and being recognized nationally. We've already had the opportunity to partner on 2 federal grant proposals, one for $75 million with the Colorado Advanced Manufacturing Alliance, and one for $29 million with the Colorado Community College System. The higher education perfect storm in Colorado is being driven by the State Master Plan for Greater Accountability in Public Higher Education, adopted late in 2012 by the Colorado Commission on Higher Education. The plan is called Colorado Completes and is based on a 2010 law passed by the legislature that requires every public-funded institution of higher education to submit a performance contract. The plan's intent is to ensure that Colorado has an educated workforce to meet the needs of our changing economy. It's about securing the future of our state. President Obama also contributed to this perfect storm with his proposal to measure college performance through a rating system and tying federal student aid to college performance. Colorado anticipated this move by changing the state's need-based financial aid system to connect scholarship more closely to student performance. And an editorial in the Denver Post last week agreed that the most effective higher education institutions should get the most public support, saying, quote, "In an era of limited resources, it makes a lot of sense," end quote. MSU Denver's performance contract pledges to increase the number of undergraduate degrees we issue by at least 1% every year and increase the number of credentials earned by traditionally underserved students by 2% per year. Other specific performance contract indicators include increasing undergraduate retention and graduation rates, boosting retention across all levels, increasing the completion of introduction pathway courses in English and math, increasing the proportion of students who accumulate at least 24 credit hours per academic year, and expanding the participation of underserved students in STEM disciplines. To achieve this, the university has many strategies in place, including individual success coaching, special attention for first-year students, supplemental academic instruction, and increased collaboration among departments. This fall, our second year in the Student Success Building, the first-year Student Success Program enrolled 85% of the total number of first-time-to-college freshmen. And I want to congratulate our hardworking and steadfast advisors and recruiters. I'd also like to extend a special and sincere thank you to our committed faculty who have stepped up to teach in the first-year program. Your dedication to our students' critical beginning will make all the difference in our retention and graduation efforts. We are reducing higher education attainment gaps among ethnic and income groups through increased student recruiting, efforts in lower-income urban school districts, especially DPS. As Colorado's most diverse four-year university, this is a natural fit. We've embarked on a targeted outreach program to DPS principals, and we joined with TIAA-CREF and the Denver Public Schools Foundation to adopt Bruce Randolph, a Denver public school for grades 6 through 12, where Cesar Cedillo, a 1996 MSU Denver graduate, is principal. This long-term collaboration will provide educational support to students, parents, and faculty members. We are also creating more targeted workforce education and development offerings while increasing our student retention rates. After 3 years of data and assessment of our master's programs in social work, accountancy, and teacher education, we will be exploring new master's programs for our Board of Trustees' approval. These programs will be revenue-generating models in career-focused fields. In February, we will have a workshop with the Board of Trustees where we will benchmark and assess our progress against our performance contracts indicators. Why is this important, you ask? How well we can deliver on our performance contract will partly determine as much as 25% of the funding we receive from the state. An all-hands-on-deck approach is critical to our success. There's always a keen sense of anticipation for what's coming next at MSU Denver. Our innovative efforts have ramped up the energy throughout our university and contributed to positive climate change. And because we all know that, like the seasons, there is more change in the wind. We already have a major initiative underway in how we train teachers. MSU Denver has the second largest teacher preparation program in Colorado, and supported by a 5-year federal grant, we are planning to bring the 3 teacher education training departments and the Center for Urban Education under a single umbrella to create a freestanding school of education. There is an increased emphasis at the state and national levels on educating superb teachers with strong academic skills who want to integrate into their communities. So this change makes a lot of sense. In conjunction with the School of Education plan, we are in discussion with Escuela Tlatelolco Centro de Estudios to become MSU Denver's laboratory school. Escuela Tlatelolco is a DPS contract school in Northwest Denver that provides an alternative to traditional public schools education for young Latino students. With our emphasis on teacher preparation, nursing, social work, diversity, and becoming a Hispanic-serving institution, it could be a promising partnership and an additional way we can spur positive change in our community. Another community-oriented initiative that's underway is the athletic complex in which we broke ground in June. This $12 million project started with new tennis courts, and the second phase will include soccer, softball, and baseball fields that we hope will be utilized by the nearby neighbors, as well as providing an outstanding space for our intercollegiate athletic program. Future plans call for constructing locker rooms, a multipurpose room, concession area, a community walking track, and an outdoor plaza. The complex officially opened on August 24th when Denver Parks and Recreation hosted their citywide youth tennis day there. And next month, members of our tennis team and Denver Parks and Recreation will provide after-school tennis lessons to the children at Greenlee Elementary School. Integrating a premier urban university into our community led us to ask Mark Potter, Associate Vice President for Academic and Civic Collaboration, to prepare an application for the Carnegie Foundation's elective community engagement classification. It's a designation that would recognize how MSU Denver's institutional practices demonstrate our commitment to making a positive impact in the community, one of the themes articulated in the strategic plan, and also one that reflects our intentions as an urban land-grant university. New community and public-private partnerships, such as aerospace engineering science, the proposed School of Education, and the athletic complex, as well as established partnerships that allowed us to build the Hotel and Hospitality Learning Center and the Student Success Building, all create the climate of innovation and entrepreneurship envisioned in the strategic plan. This will help to move us towards becoming the country's preeminent urban institution. But as they say on television, wait, there's more. A task force is studying the feasibility of a student housing project. National studies show that student housing helps with student retention. A review of MSU Denver's finances showed that the university has the financial capacity, so the Board of Trustees established a committee that will look at the possibilities, including both capacity and how student housing could support the university's varied learning communities, such as veterans, HSI, and honor students. A new Information Technology Services Department was formed this summer, consolidating and renaming the academic and administrative computing areas. James Lyle, Chief Information Officer and Associate Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, will lead the department. This is the result of a year-long effort to create a plan that integrates technology services and systems fully into our academic and community mission. We have the results of our employee campus climate survey conducted last spring. Management consulting firm Modern Think conducted the survey. It asked our employees their thoughts about issues such as professional development, leadership, diversity, institutional pride, fairness, communication, collaboration, job satisfaction, and more. And this year's results indicate that MSU Denver has improved its campus climate in several areas. A majority of MSU Denver's employees are satisfied with their jobs, have good relationships with their supervisors and department chairs, and have a sense of pride in the university and its mission. We've improved in 29 areas, and we fell back in 7. But I'm pleased with our progress, and I would ask each of you, as a member of this university community, to reflect upon how you can contribute to continuing positive change in our collective work environment. Confident that we have the support of our faculty and staff, we are moving forward with telling the MSU Denver story and furthering our brand. Changing our official status from college to full-fledged university is a source of pride and is strongly indicative of our confidence in the ambitious course we've set for the next several years. Being able to convey that message to prospective students, to lawmakers, community partners, and potential funders is vitally important. And you will be hearing about this a lot in the coming months because we hope to engage you as the most effective brand ambassadors. Today we handed out the new brand primer that highlights the spirit and vision that makes MSU Denver unique. Our brand is more than a logo, tagline, colors, or a mascot. It is the promise we make to our stakeholders, students, alumni, and the community that we will provide a transformative academic experience and be a courageous change agent and a gateway to opportunity. We are transforming lives, communities, and higher education. But why are these key messages so important? Because we understand that we are in charge of our own future. It's become very clear over the last few years that institutions of higher education cannot adapt a passive stance and expect to survive and prosper. Taxpayer funding for higher education continues to dwindle, here in Colorado more than elsewhere in the U.S. Colorado ranks 49th in per capita state funding of higher and local support for higher education. We are making up the difference ourselves with creative community and public-private partnerships. This is a big challenge that has tested our resolve and our ability to change. But as you've heard, it's change we're meeting with energy, with innovation, and with entrepreneurial spirit. Equally important are our fundraising efforts. We are seeking to build what Foundation Board Chair Jim Mulligan refers to as a fundraising machine. Last year, we raised $3.5 million in cash and pledges coming out of the recession, nearly $1.8 million of which went to scholarships and endowments. And we are getting very close to announcing within the next month 2 major gifts that combined would bring an additional $2.5 million to the university. I want to thank the fundraising team for their hard work and their efforts. Next month, our Foundation Board leadership, trustees, and staff will meet and establish the framework of this new fundraising approach. They will also explore revamping the Vice President of Advancement position as a key element to support this fundraising machine. And we will continue to trumpet our successes and to celebrate the achievement of our students and our faculty. We will let the world know what a great climate we have here for learning and for innovation. And we need your help as our brand ambassadors to share our stories of success. For example, yesterday, College Measures released another national report that found MSU Denver graduates are getting higher paid jobs out of college than CU Boulder and Colorado State University. MSU Denver was rated number 622 in the country and number 104 in the West in Forbes' 2013 Top Colleges list. This is among the 4,500 higher education institutions across the nation. And this year's rankings were based on the theme of the rapidly changing higher education landscape, focusing on return on investment. And we are becoming a recognized leader nationally for our innovative development of public-private partnerships. Most recently, the Association of Governing Boards compared our efforts to those of the City University of New York. This kind of public recognition only spurs us to demand more of ourselves, to reach higher, and to continue creating our own unique and innovative campus climate. To me, there's never been a better time than fall, when the leaves start to change and MSU Denver again becomes fully alive with possibilities. To quote Bob Dylan, who spanned generations with his musical insight, "The times, they are a-changing." It's inevitable, and we are determined that MSU Denver will be leading the way. I want to thank you, our faculty, our staff, and our students. You are making this change happen. I know you are all working so very hard, and I'm proud of your efforts. You are the innovators and the change agents. You are blazing the MSU Denver Trail. Together, let's keep addressing this change head on and realizing the transformative effect that is our hallmark. And together, let's make it another great year to be a Roadrunner. Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you so much for that inspiration, and congratulations to all of our award winners today and to all of you for the work that you do. We are grateful for your hard work on behalf of our extraordinary, vibrant academic community here. Thank you all for coming to the Welcome Back ceremony, and thank you in advance for what we know will be another wonderful year at MSU Denver. Welcome back.